It's been about a month, and perhaps time for update. Oh, maybe you couldn't hear me. Much better. Some of you know that I live in DC, and about a month ago, on July 21st, the mayor of DC, Muriel Bowser, decided that she would have a mandate for people to wear masks outside all the time when you're taking your dog for a walk or you're standing on the corner waiting for a bus. And it's been about a month. So I wanted to give an update of how effective this outside mask order was. Now I have, here the cases for the month of July average, and the cases for new confirmed cases of COVID-19 in DC for the month of August. So was Muriel Bowser's outside all the time face mask order effective? It virtually had no difference. And some of you might be saying, well, wow, that seems like a big surprise. Everybody looks so safe walking around with their masks on outside. So I have a couple theories as to why it made no difference, but looking at the numbers in July, from June 21st to July 22nd, you have an average of 49 new cases per day confirmed. And towards the end of July, Muriel Bowser saw an increase in those cases. So she said, we have to do something drastic. We have to change things up here a little bit. It seems like we're having a surge. It was kind of ironic, the day that she made the order to wear masks all the time outside, there was a day of 42 cases, which was very similar to the day weeks prior. So nothing crazy there. And then when you look at the month of August, so you have 49 on average, 49 cases per day in July. Basically, when you look at the month of August, 66 cases per day. So wearing a mask outside, it didn't curb the spread. It didn't do anything. And why might that be? It's because coronavirus doesn't spread outside easily. It is a respiratory droplet virus, right? So the way that it spreads is when people that are in close contact with each other for prolonged periods of time cough on their hands, or cough on somebody else, or the droplets from their mouth reach somebody else over an extended period of time, then that person might get infected, and that is the primary way that someone will get infected. There was a theory going around that inside it could be potentially spread by aerosol transmission, meaning that these droplets that come out of your mouth, these tiny ones, they go up into the air and they're so small that they can float around for a little bit and infect someone that way. But I've read the studies on that. There's about 4 major ones. There's a help desk in South Korea study, a choir in Washington, and then most recently, I forget what the other one was, but most recently they were modeling what could have happened on the Carnival cruise. Well, guess what? When you read those studies about aerosol transmission of coronavirus, they literally say in the studies that they can't, definitively say that the people in that choir weren't sharing snacks, that they weren't engaging with each other, touching each other. Same thing for the help desk, and for the Carnival cruise, none of these were peer-reviewed. And for the Carnival cruise, they said up to 60% of the spread on that cruise back in January could have been from aerosol transmission, but it was just models. It wasn't science, it was models. They're trying to figure out how so many people got infected, and it got crushed. It got highly criticized by other scientists saying, hey, you might want to propose that aerosol transmission is a big way that it spreads, but guess what? We don't see a lot of evidence here. So all of these studies had one thing in common, and they were all studies about aerosol transmission inside. There isn't a speck of evidence, a speck of science, or any scientist practically saying that by aerosol transmission, walking around, speaking or breathing, that coronavirus is leaving your mouth outside and infecting other people. You see all the air that's around me? The problem is it's not confined, and it doesn't stay in a little cloud that you walk through and then all of a sudden get infected. So when you're walking down the street, if you're 3 to 6 feet away from someone, unless they're screaming at you, or they perhaps talk like Sylvester from Looney Tunes, sucker and succotash, they're not spitting on you, they're not coughing on you, you're not getting infected outside by people that have coronavirus. You're certainly not getting it by aerosol transmission, virtually impossible. So there's going to be other cities and states, and when you listen to the 2020 with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even perhaps the country where they're going to say wear a mask outside all the time, it curbs the spread. And I just want to say that is that's not true. It's at least not true in DC. In end of June and July to the 22nd, you have 49 cases on average per day, and confirmed cases of COVID-19. And then Muriel Bowser puts in wear a mask all the time order outside. People start wearing masks, and in August, from July 22nd to August 22nd, a month goes by and there's more cases, 66 per day, and it's not decreasing. On August 12th, you have 94 new cases. There's more cases. It's just we had a period of time, and I think Washington, D.C. probably did it especially well, where they stayed inside. They were afraid of the spread in the early months of summer. And then they started going outside. You have people that are, you go around to any of the restaurants and you can see that people are eating outside of their household. So they're spending time, long extended periods of time, close intimacy with other people without masks on. That's what's causing the spread. And then I'd also like to point out that you have an increase in testing. In June and July, you had about 2,300 tests per day. And then in end of July, August, you have 3,300, so 1,000 more tests per day. So maybe something that Donald Trump said that everyone, killed him about, more tests equal more positives. Maybe there's a little bit of truth to that, because when you start to test the people that are asymptomatic, the people that, instead of the people that are waiting in line in the emergency room because they have fever, cough, shortness of breath, you start testing the people that are going in for elective surgery or want to start a new job or want to play baseball. You start testing those asymptomatic people. You expand testing by 1,000 tests per day, on average, between the month of July and the month of August. Then you find more positive cases. You find the people that weren't being diagnosed, the people that were actually spreading it, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it's, what is causing the increase in the spread. It's not, walking around outside without a mask on. When you maintain 3 to 6 feet of social distance, because you don't want to be, running into people at the corner. You don't want to be, having, a long conversation with them. And about, extended periods of time with close intimacy, I don't even have to make that case as to the primary way of the spread. The CDC has already made that case for me. They say that if you spend 15 or more minutes with someone that has coronavirus within 6 feet of them, that you should quarantine yourself for 14 days. So there it is. That is the primary cause of the spread, not walking outside without a mask on, especially when you can maintain social distance. Just doesn't spread like that. And the reason that I get so angry about wearing a mask outside, not angry but so frustrated about it, and the reason that I am a outside anti-masker all day every day, no place needed except in places that you can't maintain social distance, is because it does a few other things that I'm worried about and I don't like. First of all, I love being outside. Outside is kind of my sanctuary. I spend a lot of time backpacking and stuff like that. When I'm outside, I want to breathe the fresh air. I don't really notice it, but mentally in my mind, if I'm inside, I'm thinking, man, I'd like to be outside to get some fresh air. With a mask on, it complicates that situation. Furthermore, there's a couple, negative side effects about this whole COVID-19, pandemic and things that we're going to have to, battle to avoid, causing problems. But you see a lot of division in the country. Well, guess what? Wearing masks and doing things like not shaking each other's hands, it dehumanizes us. When I look at someone that has a mask on, I don't see another person that I know. There's a lot of nice sayings on doors for shops that you go in, like Wawa, that says there's a smile under this mask, and a smile can brighten someone's day, right? It puts a smile on your face sometimes, and it helps. When someone has a mask on, I don't see that person smile, and sometimes I don't see that person because they don't look like a person anymore. They look like just another creature. And when I can't shake someone's hand, I can't touch somebody else, I can't feel the warm blood in their body, by shaking their hand, I forget, hey, that person is like me, that person and I have similarities. Maybe I shouldn't, be in disagreement with that person. Maybe we can work together. Maybe we can have a relationship, form a community, and help to make the world a better place. So these are the things that make me frustrated. And maybe one of the biggest things of all is that when someone says, oh, look, the masks are quelling the spread or stopping the spread. Wearing it outside in DC, there's 49 cases on average, confirmed cases per day from the end of June to the 22nd of July. A mask order goes in place to wear them outside all the time. And then from July 22nd to August 22nd, you have 66 on average cases, confirmed cases per day. I'm not buying it. I don't think that wearing a mask on outside does anything. Hopefully you've been like me and have enjoyed wearing your mask because it makes you look like a bandit. I've got that pleasure of, and also, people don't like my Maryland mask, but this is from a bike shop in Maryland, so I like it. In DC, at least, they don't like it. But, or my bandanas, but I look like a bandit, so I get a little bit of pleasure out of that. But really, I want the truth to be the truth, the evidence to be the evidence. If there's scientific evidence out there somewhere that says wearing a mask outside helps stop the spread, then I'd be all for it. But when you look at it, you're not gonna find it. Unless you're walking down the street and you bump into someone and they cough on you, it's not spreading outside. And you can look at the numbers in DC. At least, that alone hasn't stopped it. And so we need to be smart about the things. We need to think critically. We need to be safe out there and be strong and courageous. Carry on.